We are Makilala TV, the first Filipino-American TV talk show in the New York metro area. Get to know us as we talk to the community leaders, innovators, advocates, and emerging artists who affect Filipino-American life. Noel Quintana epitomizes the Asian immigrant. He lives in Queens, takes the train to work, holds 2 jobs, and is devoted to his family. Noel works as an administrative assistant and also a tax preparer during the tax season. So when he was attacked in the subway on February 3, his face slashed from ear to ear. It was personal to the Asian community. It's like all of us immigrants were assaulted as well. We welcome Noel to our program and thank him so graciously for accepting our invitation to share his story. Also joining us today is Detective Cicero Coloma Jr., a member of the NYPD Asian Hate Crimes Task Force. He will talk about the magnitude of the anti-Asian bias, the challenge of running after suspects, and whether people like Noel will ever get justice. As Filipino Americans, how can we protect ourselves and our families? So on behalf of my co-hosts, Jen Fuhrer and Cristina Pastor, welcome to Makilala TV, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So let's start with Noel. Noel, I heard your moving story at the Migrant Center's virtual prayer rally and at the Rise Up rally by the Asian American Federation. I was honestly moved to tears. I'd loved for you to share your story of what happened in the subway last month.
Okay. It was actually February 3rd, Wednesday, when I'm about to go to work. I take the L train and about 8 o'clock in the morning. So the train is standing because it's full, so it's on standing only. So I took the door on the other side of the trains, on the other side, yeah, so that I won't be an obstacle from the people going in and out of the train. And when the train stopped in Bedford, a man, that's the time where the door opens on my side. So a man entered and stood beside me. So we stood side by side, and in a couple of minutes, he kicked my bag. So I moved towards away from him, so that and placed my bag in front of me so that it won't touch him anymore. And then a few more minutes, and then he kicked my bag again. So that's the time when we reach our First Avenue. And when I moved inside to get away from him and said, "What's wrong with you?" And then he came forward and slashed me. And just in time when the door opens, so he moved quickly outside and escaped. I didn't know right away that I was slashed, because I was expecting that he would punch me. But when I saw the backscatter in his hand and the reaction of other people, so I realized that I was slashed. So I put my hands on my face and saw blood oozing. So I called for help, and nobody helped me. So I decided to go out of the train instead of going to the next train bleeding. So there was a lady outside calling, probably calling 911. She was also shocked, but I need a concrete help, so I decided to move on the other side because I was at the very back of the track of the train. So I walked towards the other end to get to the booth. And there was a lady there, and I asked for help and asked her to call 911. So she did. She was also shocked, and the police came. And then after a few more minutes, the medic came and they asked me if I could walk. So I walked towards the ambulance, but in the middle, I uh, I felt so dizzy that they put me in a stretcher. So from there, they drove me to Bellevue Hospital, and in the operating room where the doctors assisted me, there was
Noel, excuse me, Noel. I personally was surprised that nobody came to help you. Actually, I was appalled. Were you surprised, angry? What were you thinking? You mentioned that there was an emergency button and nobody even pressed that button. What
yes,
were you thinking at that time?
yes, there's an emergency button at the in all the in
That's
all
right.
so they can alarm the the train operator, but
Mhm.
nobody did. And I was also surprised that almost everybody used their cell phone in the train, but I don't see a footage or
Yeah.
video regarding what happened in the train.
Mhm.
They recorded some trivial videos in the train, but this time this is an emergency. Nobody did that, and when I went outside, the train just went on as if nothing happened. So
Oh my
the
gosh.
operator wasn't alarmed, or wasn't alarmed for what was happened in the train.
Yeah, it felt like you were assaulted twice. One by the one who attacked you, and the other one by the people supposed to help you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as Christina said, I mean, you feel bad and then you get angry. So I don't know. I mean, Detective Coloma, is this a natural occurrence in the New York City subway?
Yeah, we see this a lot with, people just standing by and not doing anything. And the thing that we tell everyone is, if you see something happen, call 911 so we can respond and, apprehend the suspect and help the victim. So
Mhm.
that's the message we have for them.
No, Noel, do you remember? Do you remember the face of the suspect? Did you see him again?
Um, the uh, the detective handling the case showed me a video regarding he exited from the station. So
Oh,
yeah,
there's a video. Okay.
so I was able to identify him there.
Okay.
That's the only video that I've seen.
And Cicero, so I'm trying to understand how is Noel's case not considered a hate crime? Can you walk us through what that actually means, and how can we make sure that future crimes, if they are considered hate crime, that they have enough evidence to do it?
So there's certain criteria that crime is considered a hate crime. It could be when a crime is committed based on race, gender, um, religion. Um, Not going to details about Noel's case, but there's some incidents where an assault happens, but um, you know, the the suspect, there's no evidence to show that um, you know he was assaulted because of his race or gender or whatnot. So in this case, I don't think that was found.
Mm. So you need some proof, like if the perpetrator said something to
Right.
Noel before or after the incident, that could be shown as evidence. And
Correct.
I also heard that there's been instances where it's considered a hate crime, even though that they didn't say anything, but because they've assaulted, say, like another Asian American on a previous case, it was lifted to a hate crime. A hate crime. Is that also the case?
If they see a pattern where the suspect targets a certain group, yes, that could be added.
Cicero, do you have the latest information or data about crimes committed on subways or on transit systems?
So in 2019, there was 3 incidents in regards to Asian crimes. 2020,
Committed
when
on subways.
COVID-19. I'm sorry.
Are these crimes committed on subways?
That's just in general 3. In
Okay.
2020, there was 29 incidents,
Wow.
and
Wow.
9 of which happened in the transit system. To date,
Okay.
as of February 17 of this year, we have 4 incidents, and 2 of them happened in the transit system. So we are seeing an uptick in Asian attacks.
It's so bizarre and so sad, and I'm angry. I mean, you see I'm smiling, but I'm really angry that this is happening to our community. I'm trying to grasp my mind of why there's so many incidents, and how we can overcome this. So, is there any ideas of how to prevent this type of attack? And this is Noel, if you have any ideas, or Cicero, if you have any resources.
I'll let Noel start off.
Yeah, I think Asia should work together, be solidified, and voice our concerns regarding Asian attacks, so that the authorities would notice us and act on in favor of us. I think they are now being alarmed and acting to protect us, but somehow we should not be complacent about it. We should still um, raise our voice so that we will be protected like the rest of the other Americans.
Noel, tell us what your life is like these days. Do you go out now with a companion, for example? Are you limiting your movements outside of the house? What is it
Yes,
like for you?
yes. I don't go out much anymore,
Mhm.
so I don't use the subway anymore. So
Mhm.
to go somewhere else, I have to take a ride, an Uber or a Lyft,
Mhm.
and if it's just nearby. I still walk because my medical counsel told me to walk,
Mhm.
start start visiting laundry and groceries before I asked uh, laundry my laundry to be picked up and dropped by. So I'm now doing my laundry nearby.
In your
So
part.
that's it, but it's still limited. I started working this week, but my boss let me work from home.
Hmm.
So I still not going to the yeah. But
But
I
you
but I stopped I didn't go to my second job yet
Mhm.
because it's too early.
Yeah.
I mean, you lost your income. You now have medical bills, and I don't know if you'll ever get justice. Is there anything that the community is doing to help you financially to help you, at least move on to, with your normal, quote unquote, normal life? I mean,
Yes, the Asian American Federation is helping me
Mhm.
with regard to the needs that I yeah to my needs. So they're helping me. Father Julian is also helping me. So yeah.
I have a question for quickly, detective. I mean, we're seeing a lot of crimes happen, and it's on the news, especially in New York City. I mean, my son went to the city a week ago, and someone grabbed his backpack. So, what do you tell people who go into the city how to protect themselves? And then when they see something, what do they do? And then how do you file a claim of complaint so that these things won't happen over and over?
Well, we want them to live their life, just the way it is. We don't want them to feel like, the city is not safe. Uh, but at the same time, we want them to be, alert and to know that these things are happening uh, within the Asian community. And when they see something, we want them to call 911, and we rely on the public for information like this, for us to get justice for people like Noel when it comes to witnesses, videos, pictures. We want them to be out there, and we want them to know that NYPD is out there and the Asian Hate Crime Task Force is out there to assist in this investigation.
I'm actually curious about the job, about the mandate of the task force. What exactly do you do, and have you made any arrests at all? Because I've not read anything in the news about people getting arrested. Maybe I'm
So,
not reading the right newspaper.
so there has been arrests, and it has been in the news. But there's a lot of times when we do make an arrest, it's not in the news. But there has been arrests. The Asian Hate Crime Task Force were there to
Why
assist
is it in
the.
the news? Shouldn't you be putting them in the news so it gives us a sense of, oh, something's being done. The government or the city is doing something.
I mean,
Shouldn't
it's
it be
put
in
out.
the news?
It's put out there to the media. It's just up to the media to broadcast it.
Oh,
So
no. Send it to
so
me.
He's telling us that we have to broadcast that they're making arrests. They're doing their job.
right.
Okay, go ahead. Please continue, Cicero. I'm sorry.
No problem. So yeah, so there
I'm
has
curious
been
about the
arrests.
mandate of the task force.
So when an incident happens, we respond to the location, or we may be notified of after the incident. So we'll reach
Mhm.
out to the victim, let them know. In Noel's case, it's Filipino. I was notified about it. So we reach out to the victim, let them know if they need any assistance, and we're there to bridge the cultural gap between the victim
Mhm.
and the investigator, as well as to assist in any language barrier. Uh, in Noel's case, that wasn't necessary, but we're there for support in case Noel needs any assistance. Um, we informed him about victim compensation that's provided by the district attorney as well as the city of New York. So it's not just for investigative purposes. We're there for support.
Mhm.
That's such a good thing to know that those resources even exist. And
Right.
Noel, when Cicero reached out to you, knowing that he was Filipino, did that help at all? Knowing that there was somebody that was from the community?
Yes, yes. Um, he approached me when we were about to have a presentation with the grand jury, and so
Mhm.
he was there and approached me. I was even surprised because he was a Filipino, and yeah, there was a connection. Yeah, I felt at ease. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So it helped.
Noel, when people approach you on the street and recognize you, what do they tell you?
Uh, Normally, they don't, um, unless I go to a specific establishment like the doctor's
Mhm.
office this time.
Mhm.
But but in the street, I seldom go out anyway. But uh, I wore masks so they wouldn't know.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I never thought about that.
We were talking earlier about justice. Noel, what does justice look like to you in your specific case?
Uh, I think well, when we talk of justice, we talk of law, and I think it's moving forward anyway. So they already caught the perpetrator. So
Oh,
he was, yeah, and I was
oh, he's
my
already caught. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Noel. Is the
yes,
suspect already caught?
he was caught in Brooklyn for a robbery crime. So
Oh,
he was sentenced. So he was in prison there, and I was briefed by my prosecutor that
mhm.
they're going to arraign him next week. So
Okay.
she's gonna call me again on what was happening. But
Mhm.
but I think the trial would still be 15 months hence. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's not really. But I think yeah, justice me being is moving forward. So
So he will. So Noel, he will be tried for the robbery and for the assault on you. That will be two
yes,
cases, correct?
separately,
Okay.
separate.
All right.
And maybe prom, and maybe some other crimes that he had committed.
So as far as you're concerned, that would be equivalent to justice. The fact that he was apprehended.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Hmm. Okay.
Cicero, a question about NYPD presence. What is the NYPD doing to increase their presence in places where there are more Asians in the community? Is there any efforts that the city is doing to make sure that we feel a little bit more safer walking in the street?
So every precinct has community affairs officers, and they've been deployed to talk to the community and to speak at community council events, which happens every month. We also have neighbor community officers who are out there on patrol in the street, and they go from business to businesses as well as parks to talk to people and talk to businesses to let them know what's going on. And as you see in the news with the transit system, they've deployed additional police officers as well as resources into the transit system to combat these incidents.
Cicero, what about the bystanders? When they witness something like this, is it a good idea for them to start filming, doing video accounts of these things, of these incidents?
Well, the first thing we want them to do is call 911 before any of that. And the number two thing is their safety. We want them, we appreciate the videos and the photos, they help in the investigation, but we want them to do this in a safety manner. So
Mhm.
Maybe that's one of the reason nobody came up to help because they were scared. I mean, Noel was there. I'm assuming there was like blood everywhere, and yet
Yeah,
nobody came forward to at least
yeah,
offer any assistance. I mean, I
right, right. So
go ahead. Kat. Sorry.
in that incident, best thing you could do is call 911, and there is other ways where you could alert somebody in an MTA that's down there. You don't have to
mhm,
stay there. You can just leave and notify the booth clerk or the MTA worker that's there.
that's right.
Sorry,
I read somewhere. Oh,
I
can I
just
ask a
want to share a quick resource because when I was looking into this,
question?
of like what can you do as a bystander in these instances if you see something happening. There's five. It's called the 5 Ds of being an upstander. You want to respond directly to the person causing harm. You want to delegate. If you see somebody, if you need help, you want to delegate and ask people specifically to help. You can distract. So start singing a song really loudly in the subway and distract them from what's happening. You can delay, like checking in with the person who was harmed incident and educate ourselves in our community of why this happened. And the last thing is document. So making sure that if something is happening, record it on your video so that it's a form of evidence. So that's just a resource for us to think about. If you do see something, there is something that you can do. Okay.
Those were
And
good pointers.
yeah, yes, it's something we hopefully people will feel empowered to not just pretend that they're not seeing what's happening. In the case of Noel, it's so sad that ended up happening in your case, and I hope that that's a lesson learned for us in the community. So unfortunately, it is time to close the episode, and I'd like to ask Noel and Cicero, what is one final message that you'd like to share with the community? You could start, Detective.
We just want them to know that NYPD is out there. Asian Hate Crime Task Force is there. So if you know anyone that's been a victim of any assault or any victim of hate crime, you can email us at asianhctf@nypd.org. We also have a Twitter page at NYPD Asian HCTF. We'll be there for you guys. And just if you see something, call 911.
Noel.
Yeah. Um, I'd like them to be aware of their surroundings, be alert, and be observant of what's around them, so that they could avoid any instances regarding violence. And if this happens to you, go ask for help, and if you and reach out. And if you witnessed, call 911, and just call 911 at least, so that the victim would be helped and assisted.
Yes. Thank you again, Noel and Cicero, and the Manhattan Neighborhood Network team. Maraming salamat to all our supporters and viewers from Makilala TV. Thank you.